Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something pretty amazing. How one single speech managed to grab the world's attention and totally flip the script on a huge global issue. Let's jump right in.
So let me ask you something. Do you think one sentence can actually change the world? I mean, really, just a handful of words put together in the right way at the perfect moment. Can that reshape how we all think? Well, back in 1995, we got a pretty definitive answer. And this is it. Women's rights are human rights. So simple, right? But in 1995, when Hillary Clinton, who was the first lady at the time, said this at the UN's World Conference on Women, wow, it was revolutionary. This wasn't just some catchy phrase for the news. No way. This was a powerful declaration that was going to stick around for a long, long time. To really get why this was such a big deal, you have to understand the context, the timing, and the place. That's what gave this phrase its incredible power. We're talking about a make-or-break moment on the global stage. Okay, so picture this. It's 1995. We're in Beijing, China, for the UN World Conference on Women. And let me tell you, the atmosphere was tense. There was a ton of global pressure, a lot of eyes watching. The very idea of what women's rights even meant was up for debate. And it's right here, in the middle of all that Hillary Clinton steps up and makes an argument that just changes everything for the movement. And her core argument, it was a complete radical reframing of the whole conversation. It was a direct challenge to the old way of thinking about the problems that, more than half the people on Earth were facing. This is really the heart of the shift. See, for so long, the problems women dealt with were put in this little box labeled women's issues, kind of pushed to the side, treated as separate, not as important. What Clinton did was she basically smashed that box. By calling them human rights, she was saying, nope, these aren't separate. They are universal. They are fundamental. You literally can't separate them from the rights that belong to every single person. And that word integral is so important here. It means that women's rights aren't just some extra thing, like a bonus feature. They are a core part of the whole deal. It's like trying to build a car without wheels. Without women's rights, the entire idea of human rights is just incomplete. It doesn't work. This whole idea of inseparability was just so powerful. The message was crystal clear. You can't go around saying you support human rights if you're ignoring the rights of women. The two are completely tied together. One can't truly exist without the other. Right. So this wasn't just some abstract idea for academics to debate, not at all. This new way of looking at things had massive, real-world consequences. It took a whole bunch of problems and connected them to a clear path forward, a path that would lead to progress for everybody. And the speech did not pull any punches. It laid out the harsh reality of what women and girls were up against all over the world. Things like widespread poverty, being denied an education, facing violence, not having access to health care, or even basic credit. And it wasn't just a list of separate, random problems. No, it painted a picture of a massive, systemic failure that all stemmed from one thing: not treating women's rights as human rights. But here's the cool part, the positive side of the argument. It's this amazing ripple effect. The idea is that helping women isn't about taking from someone else. It's the opposite. When women get access to things like education and jobs and healthcare, what happens? Well, their families do better. Their communities get stronger. And then, as the speech pointed out, entire countries, entire democracies get stronger too. It's like an investment that pays off for absolutely everyone. So when an idea has that much power, that many consequences, it can't just be an observation, right? It has to be more. And it was. It became a direct challenge, a call to action for the entire world. And who was this challenge aimed at? Well, pretty much everybody. It was a challenge to governments, telling them, hey, change your unfair laws. It was a challenge to big global groups to actually make these issues a priority. And, it was even a challenge to each of us as individuals to look at our own role in all this. Basically, nobody got a free pass. And a really crucial piece of this call to action was all about having a voice. The speech came down hard on the way women's voices were so often silenced. The argument was simple. For real freedom, for real democracy to work,
It's not enough for women to just be in the room. They have to be heard. Their participation isn't just a nice to have, it's absolutely essential.
Okay, so let's fast forward. Decades have passed. What's the lasting impact? What's the legacy of that one speech and that one powerful little sentence?
Well, its legacy is huge. It's all about lasting inspiration and, more importantly, action. People still look back at it as this major landmark moment that fuels the fire for activists and policymakers all over the world. It handed them this clear, strong, universal way to argue for gender equality, a framework that just perfectly shows how women's rights are directly linked to progress for everyone.
There's no doubt the speech set a new standard. That phrase, women's rights are human rights, you hear it everywhere now. It's a rallying cry. But, and this is the big question, when we look at the world today and we use that standard to measure things, how are we doing? How far have we actually come? And maybe more importantly, what do we still need to do to make the promise of that speech a reality for every single woman everywhere? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.